Most first-time buyers in Mesa think they can't afford it, but I'm going to talk to you in real numbers and go over this stuff and show you what's actually possible. I'm Chelsea Anderson. I'm a realtor with Anderson Signature Team at Keller Williams Realty Phoenix, and this is your East Valley Real Estate Talk. First-time buyers, this is for you. I've been working with first-time buyers in Mesa for over 14 years. This is generally one of my favorite things to do in this business. It's watching a family or a couple get into their first home, seeing what this does for their long-term financial life. There's really nothing better in my mind. So here's what I know from doing this for over a decade. The number one barrier for most of our first-time home buyers is not what they think it is. Most people think they can't afford it. Most people are wrong. Not all, but most. By the end of the video, you're going to know whether you're actually closer than you think. So let's get into it. So what you actually need to get into Mesa right now, we're going to talk about real home values. The lowest realistic price for a decent single family home in Mesa right now, something that's livable, that it's probably not, super updated or anything like that, but it's entirely livable and functional and a great little house, is around $330,000. I want to stop there for a second because some of you just thought $330,000, I can do that. Let me show you what that actually means. So with an FHA loan, which is the most common loan type for first-time homebuyers, your down payment is only 3.5%. So on $330,000, that's only $11,550. With a conventional loan in good credit, you can get in for 3 to 5% down. So maybe that's something like $10,000 to $16,000. You really do not need 20% down to be able to buy a house. That is old news. You 100% can put $20,000. You can put 50% down. But you do not need to put 20% down. So you can get into a house for something about 3% down. And, that really, really kind of sets the stage for what you can and can't do and how much cash you have on hand. So in Maricopa County here, we do have down payment assistance programs available. One of them is the Home Plus Arizona program. It's one that we talk about a lot and we use regularly. It can cover all or a piece of your down payment and or your closing costs. So talk to different lenders about that. There are some qualifications that you have to jump through. I believe you still have to take a class. But those are really great options to get some extra money, around $10,000, to help you buy your first house. So this actually is not going to be as daunting as you think. And when you're talking about getting into your first house for about $10,000, if you think about getting into a new rental, the average rental is about $2,300 a month, plus $2,300 is a security deposit, plus the application fees, the pet fees, the cleaning fees, all of that stuff can really add up to probably somewhere around, $6,000 maybe. And so it's really not that much different than getting into a new rental. So the real barrier that we find for people getting into their first home is generally information and not money. So if the money math actually works for you, why aren't more first-time buyers pulling the trigger? And in our experience, it comes down to just a couple of things: fear and not having the information that they need. So the process feels overwhelming. I hear that a lot. You don't know what to do. I hear that a lot. You start getting on that Google machine, you get 17 different answers from 17, randoms, and nothing is really adding up and making sense, and it just seems easier to just stay renting. So when we talk about this though, and you're paying that $2,300 a month, each year you're wasting $27,000 paying the landlord's mortgage. So instead of doing that, you can be getting that money back into your pockets. So each month, say that payment is $1,930 for your principal and interest, and roughly about $4,000 of that is going to go back into your pocket to help build you equity. And so there's a bunch of moving pieces, and we can run those scenarios and look up at those payoffs and really understand where the money goes and how that's going to help you, what tax benefits you're going to have, how there's going to be other savings in different places. So it's all information and 100% solvable once we kind of start talking. So one of the things that we pride ourselves on, is you can read this in client reviews, is our communication. My clients always know what's happening, where we are in the process, what's coming next, no surprises, no moments where you feel like you're in the dark. Because the way I see it, my job isn't to find you a house. My job is to make sure that you understand the decision you're making so that you feel confident the whole way through. When you buy your first home informed and prepared, it's exciting. When you buy it confused and reactive, it's stressful. So, same house, two totally different experiences depending on the information that you're getting and the process that we move through so that you understand. So, which Mesa neighborhoods make sense for first time homebuyers? We get that question a lot too. Let's talk about where to actually look. So, if we're looking in that $330,000 to $400,000 range, there's a few neighborhoods that you could, look at pretty seriously. Dobson Ranch is a very popular one. It's right over here off Dobson and about Guadalupe. It's an established community in Mesa. The homes have character. There are HOA amenities. There's a lake, a rec center, really solid history in the area. It holds its value really well. Vista Mesa, Bella Villa are worth looking at if you want something a bit newer. You're going to find houses in the 350 to 380 range, maybe with a little bit more modern finishes. Um, Olympic Estates in Mesa can get you into some home with some more square footage, maybe good for families that need a little bit extra space. And the thing that I really want to be clear about, because I see first time buyers make this mistake, is don't just buy the cheapest house available. The first home isn't just a place to live, it's a foundation to build your wealth within real estate. So buy smart. We talk it through like, is this something that you would keep as a rental? Then we want to make sure that it would be a home with good long term rental potential. And what is this house going to look like in 5 to 7 years? Is the neighborhood stable? Is there demand for this type of home? Is there something funky that we're going to have to overcome? Those questions matter day one when you purchase, not 5 or 10 years down the road when you're, considering selling. So the closing cost reality, the thing that surprises most people is you know really the thing that comes at the end of the process. Closing costs typically run between 2 and 3% of the purchase price on a $300,000 home, so roughly 6, 7 to $10,000 on top of that down payment. So what people don't know, that going in, it feels like a huge gut punch right before closing. So in our market right now, we're avoiding that and getting concessions on a lot of our offers. The market is flat and level enough and soft enough that we are getting those things covered either by the seller or with some of those grant funds that we were talking about earlier. So um, depending on the loan type, there's options to roll those into the loan. If we're talking about a VA loan, we can do a little bit of that as well. So basically, there's a lot of flexibility and a lot of different ways that we can structure the deal so that you can jump into your first home without tons of money out of your pocket. So we actually closed one earlier this year for a dear friend of mine where she got into a house for about $1,000 out of pocket between seller concessions and down payment money. It literally cost her $1,000 to buy a house. So there are some really great options, but I do want you to understand the vast majority of these, if you have the money for a 3% down payment, then we can figure a lot of other things out, and that just buys you a lot of flexibility. And flexibility shows up in opportunity. And opportunity in our market right now is exactly where you want to be as a buyer. So if you're a first time buyer and want to know if you're actually ready, let's have a real conversation. Reach out to me. I'm Chelsea at andersonsignature.com. So CHELSEA, that's my email address. Feel free to give me a call at 602-748-6136. And again, I'm Chelsea Anderson, realtor with the Anderson Signature team at Keller Williams Realty Phoenix, and we'd love to help you buy your first home.